So you just hit level 70 after grinding tirelessly through Outland. Or maybe you just boosted and you're in that silly looking gear that Daddy Blizzard gave you, ready to make your mark on the world. But there's just one big problem standing in your way.
I need healing.
That's right, everybody, the Scourge Invasion is underway and in full swing across Azeroth. Or is it? There's a lot of you coming back to World of Warcraft right now that have been away for a very long time, and maybe you're just not familiar with the game or with Wrath of the Lich King or how this expansion is getting started. So I'd like to talk about that today and talk about some recent controversial decision making that Blizzard has made that has really divided the player base, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. Years ago, at the beginning of Wrath of the Lich King, there was this event called the Scourge Invasion. Now, this was a very divisive event back in the day, and it certainly has been divisive now. This event is essentially broken into two main categories. The first one is the Scourge Invasions across different zones. Now, if you're somebody that just hit level 70 or you boosted a character, you're going to want to pay attention to this. Right now, across Azeroth, there are a ton of Scourge necropolises that are invading various zones. Just look for these little skulls on your map whenever you look at the world. And by going to these locations, you'll find these necrotic runes with undead spawning around them, and you can spend some time killing them to get necrotic runes that can be used as a currency to purchase gear and other items in Stormwind or Orgrimmar, or you can even find gear drops directly off of rare spawns or shades that will spawn at these locations. This is a fantastic way, an easy way for people who have just hit level 70 to get some epic gear that do not want to do the Ultric Valley grind that most people are doing right now. If you're a pure PvE player, then going out and grinding some necrotic runes and killing these rares is definitely for you. It's also a great way to get things like the Argent Dawn Tabard for those that don't have it, or even weapon enchants for undead slaying, and these are going to be very, very useful in Wrath of the Lich King, so right now I'm stocking up on them. And the best part is that these Scourge invasions across the various zones are bringing people together, because there's naturally a lot of people that want to get this gear. There's a lot of people getting these weapon enhancements of undead slaying, and so there's a lot of people right now interacting with each other across Azeroth, community members and so on and so forth. And even low-level players can participate in this event in their various starting zones, so it's not just limited to max-level players, so have fun with it. But then there is the second side of this event, the side that is more controversial and has left the community very divided. And that is the undead plague that has spread across Azeroth. Originally, this event begins with just a couple of suspicious crates located in places like in Booty Bay. You click them, you get diseased, and then you can spread this disease to other players. It's no big deal. However, over time, what will happen is more people will become infected, plagued cockroaches and other insects and rats will appear in various cities, and suddenly you just have the entire server is overwhelmed with zombies and this undead plague. If you were to go to a place like Stormwind or Ironforge or Orgrimmar, it doesn't matter, you will see thousands of corpses of players, skeletons strewn all over the place. It is ridiculous. And for those of you guys that are spamming Ultric Valley right now, you're not safe either, because there are people accidentally or maybe intentionally bringing the undead plague into Ultric Valley to plague the players, to get them killed, to pretty much guarantee a loss for whichever side is forced to endure this undead plague. Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, damn, this sounds like the greatest event in World of Warcraft history. And you would be correct, but there's a lot of people that would say that you're wrong. Naturally, as you can imagine, there are a lot of people frustrated by this event. People trying to quest, people trying to work the auction house in Stormwind and are unable to do so. There are people just trying to play the game normally, and this whole undead event, this plague that is spreading across Azeroth, has kind of thrown a wrench through their window, metaphorically speaking. Because of this, tons of people have gone to the forums, they've gone to YouTube comment sections, and just all over the place talking about how this undead plague event is a giant load of horse shit and how Blizzard needs to disable it because it's ruining the game. And this is what has caused the division, because there's a lot of people that think that the undead plague event is a very good mood-setting event that establishes the feel of Wrath of the Lich King and the fun that is to come once the expansion comes out with its creativity. But on the other side of the fence, you've got people complaining that this event is too intrusive, it breaks the game too much, and so on and so forth. You know, the funny thing is, for those of us that did play Wrath of the Lich King back in the day, this is exactly how the community reacted to the Undead Scourge Plague event all those years ago. There were tons of people that loved it and look back on it with great nostalgia. There are people that absolutely hated it and thought it was the most annoying thing that Blizzard ever thought of. It really is like bringing back those old Wrath vibes, you know what I mean? At least for someone like me that played back then, so maybe you guys too, I don't know. But for me it is. However, despite your opinions on the Scourge Invasions and the Undead Plague event across Azeroth, if you were to log into the game right now, you probably would discover something kind of, well, normal. You would see tons of players in Stormwind walking around, you wouldn't see skeletons or anything, and you probably would wonder, what the heck happened? Well, I'll tell you what happened. Blizzard listened to all the whining. Blizzard listened to all the people that were screaming about how the Undead Plague event was causing too many problems, and so Blizzard canceled the event early. You'll still see the Argent Dawn people around if you want to turn in your Scourge Invasion necrotic runes and stuff. You'll still find quests that are going to tell a little bit more of the storyline of the event and what's going on, but the towns have returned to normal, cities have returned to normal. But I will say that one thing that has not returned to normal, and that is the community. The community is still very much divided, in fact even more so divided because of this decision making. Many people want the event to continue. They want it to be just like it was before Wrath of the Lich King came out. They don't want it to go away. They want it to be a unique, memorable moment in World of Warcraft's history. However, there's a lot of people too, they want it gone. They're happy that Blizzard disabled it. They're like, hey, we got a couple of days of it, that's enough, and screw it. And is it likely that Blizzard is going to undo their decision and bring back the Undead Invasion across Azeroth, the Undead Plague? Most likely they're not going to do that. So unfortunately, those of us that were having a lot of fun going around just trolling people and just having a good time in between our Ultric Valley spamming, well, I guess it was fun while it lasted. Just a shame that it ended so early, but oh well, I guess that's okay. What do you all think, though? Those of you that are watching this video, do you think that Blizzard should have kept the event going? Should they have gotten rid of it earlier? Like, what do you guys think? Either way, despite the event causing chaos, I have continued my Ultric Valley grind. I am almost done with my entire Brutal Gladiator set, but I must say, it has still been an absolute pain in the ass for those of us that are doing the AV grind right now and just trying to get this Brutal Gladiator gear. Let me tell you what, if you haven't seen my video where I talked about the current state of World of Warcraft Wrath of the Lich King PvP, you gotta watch the video linked on your screen right now, because if you are not involved or aware of the World of Warcraft PvP scene, it is a nightmare at the moment, and you definitely are gonna wanna be a part of it.